Welcome back. It's now time to check back in with Tom over at the Peddler's Bicycle Museum.
What's going on, Tom?
Well, what's going on? I mean, you've probably at one time or another seen those bicycle built for two. Well, what you're looking at here is a bicycle built for 12 that actually existed. It has been ridden. You may have even seen it in a movie or, you know, kind of a newsreel. All right, as you said, we're at Peddler's Bicycle Museum. This is James Allen once again, and we were talking a little bit earlier. That has to be quite a story, a bicycle built for 12.
Bicycle built for 12. It was built in Brooklyn, New York for a Guinness Book record. And don't know if it made it or not, but it's motorcycle wheels, 450 pounds, 23.5 feet long. And our longest ride here in Springfield was 6.5 miles on it, was 12 people.
That's probably good enough. That's a hoss there, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Tell us about this bike here, because this is a very special bike as far as history is concerned.
Okay, this is a bicycle Model 90 Ivor Johnson. We had a special bicycle racer at the turn of the century. His name was Marshall Taylor. They called him Major Taylor. He was famous all over the world. He was a bicycle racer, and he was the fastest man in the world on a bicycle.
Yeah.
And then in 1928, he wrote a book, The Fastest Man on a Bicycle, and nobody would sell it for him, so he had to sell it door to door for $2.48. And he died a pauper. They buried him in a cemetery with no marker. And then Swin Bicycle Company out of Chicago, they got permission, went out and dug him up and put him in a nice cemetery with a nice stone.
So you see the bikes, but this is what I mean about you learn the history. This is interesting too. A tricycle, probably a little different than most tricycles you've seen.
Yeah, you can pull it like a wagon, or you can give it back to the child, and the child can pedal it
and
steer all theirself.
That's amazing.
In
And as
1899.
you know, as we go down, this row here, of course, this is one type of tire, that the very thin tire. Talk about that just a little.
This is a 1901 Pierce, like the car, and it's got suspension front end, suspension rear end, shock suspension, and it's shaft drive. It's a drive shaft instead of a chain. No chain. And this is a very good bike.
Yeah. And as you move down, now you're getting into the era of, when people my age say, oh yeah, but the cars back then were so, it's the same thing with bicycles. I mean, look at the artistry in these, and the big balloon tires too.
Yeah, 1941s, 52 Swins, and these two Swins here, they both come from A&B Cycle when they were on Walnut Street, downtown Springfield.
So there you've got a little bit of the history right there, right from Springfield. This is an unusual bicycle right down here. Talk about this a little bit.
This is an 1899 railroad bike, and it was used on the railroad track, and usually the station master would ride it. He would check the track, he would check the signals, he would oil the signals, and this one has a candle light on it. You put a candle in there.
Right on the front there.
And as the candle burns down, it presses it up to keep a light.
All right.
Which is not too good.
This would be a quad cycle, I guess you might call it.
Quad cycle, yeah.
Now, these bikes here, you want to talk about history. You've got a rack of them right here. Explain these bikes.
Most of these bikes were all used at Atlanta in the '96 Olympics. And right after that '96 Olympics, they're small front wheel, little rear wheel, all made for the track. And after the '96, they outlawed them, so you couldn't have small front wheel, big rear wheel.
They both had to be the same.
Had to be the same because too many people was...
So again, one of a kind. These are Olympic. These were in the Olympics. All right. People want to come down here and see all that you have to offer. And I know you'll talk to people and tell them the history as well.
Yeah.
How do they get to see all of this?
Well, there's always a note on the door, and it's actually on the internet too, all over Peddler's Bicycle Museum. There's a phone number for appointment, and our new hours are going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 11 to 4, and then the other days of the week by appointment.
Yeah, and just so you know, this is done by donation. There's not an admission, it's a donation, but your donations help keep this alive, real history.
Yeah. And some people just like the building because it's the old Perkins Hotel.
That's right.
And it's 1887.
All right.
Now-
Thank you.
okay.
Thank
Are
you
you-
so much. We appreciate it.
got a second?
This has been great. All right. We'll throw it back to you all.
All right, thanks, Tom. It always fascinates me how many like unique museums are here in the Ozarks area. You
I know.
and then
What a
like,
cool building.
Yeah, and then that fact earlier, 189. That's
can't get
insane.
over that. I
like,
don't
how does
understand
anyone
it.
move that fast?
I don't
That does not
understand.
make any sense
We
to
want
me.
to see video of
yeah,
that, sorry.
But all right,